Hello and welcome back to another What's for Dinner. This week we had pulled chicken tacos in the Instant Pot and, backed by popular demand, the best sweet and sour meatballs you've ever had and the best lasagna I've ever made. First up, we have sweet and sour meatballs. This is a family recipe. My Aunt Paula shared this recipe for me and gave me permission to share it with you guys. I also call these candy meatballs because there's so much sugar, but that's what makes them amazing. The first thing we want to do is get our ground beef prepped and ready and make our meatballs. So this is super basic seasoning, you guys: salt, pepper, minced onion, garlic powder, some breadcrumbs, an egg. It's up to you if you want more or less depending on how moist you want these to be. But I'm gonna go ahead and get it all mixed together. I usually kind of start off with a fork when I mix it and get all the messiness out of the way and then mix it all together by hand. Next, I'm going to take a sheet pan lined with some parchment paper and just lay out all of my meatballs with a scooper. And then I take my hands to kind of give them a rougher looking shape and just make sure that they're going to hold together. And now I pop them in the oven at 400 for anywhere from 20 to 25 minutes. If you've been around for a while, you've seen this notebook before. I just kind of save all of my favorite recipes in here if you want to take a screenshot of this, or like I said, I will type it up down below for you. Now you can half this sauce recipe, double it, times it 1.5. It's totally up to you. I've done all of the above just because it depends on how many meatballs I'm actually making. Also to note, when I know I'm making these, I make them in the crock pot. I'm making them in a pot here on the stove or in the oven because it was kind of last minute. And if you're making them in the crock pot, the longer they sit in the crock pot, the better. Here I'm adding the dried mustard powder. I don't always have this, and as of lately, when I made them 2 weeks ago, I just used straight up mustard. And now I'm just taking my meatballs and transferring them into the sauce. I'm kind of using this skimmer to try and get some of the grease off of them just so it doesn't all transfer into the sauce, but a little bit never hurt anybody.
Tonight we're running on the right track. I know we never gonna look back.
1 hour at 350 and they're perfect. You can do it longer, 2 or 3 hours. I would drop the heat a little bit, or like I said, ideally in the crock pot. You do these up in the morning, throw them in the sauce, let them sit there on low for 8 or 10 hours. They're perfect. I did some jasmine rice up in the Ninja Foodie and voila, we have a delicious meal. Throw in some pineapples or peppers in there if you wanted to. That would be delicious as well. Great for a potluck or just to eat for yourself. Shredded chicken tacos made in the Instant Pot. Now this is a great way to use up some stuff in your fridge. I had half a can of tomatoes from earlier in the week. I had some salsa left and some chicken stock, and you're gonna have delicious Mexican shredded tacos or shredded chicken in your Instant Pot. So start off, you could do 2 or 4 chicken breasts, whatever you have on hand. This is what I happen to have. I'm just gonna add about 2 cups total of salsa and tomatoes, and then I'm gonna add in about a cup of chicken broth. Some taco seasoning. How much is up to you? I think I added around 3 tablespoons of taco seasoning, which is like a packet, and get it all stirred up and mixed together. I'm going to cook it for 12 minutes and do a 5-minute natural release.
Freaking out to the beat, you freak out, sing like. So baby, come and take my hand tonight, and know that everything will be alright when we dance and we fall and we don't care at all. Now we just sing the la 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 la.
I take the chicken out, throw it in a bowl, and I like to shred it up with a mixer, a hand mixer. At first, it's going to feel like nothing's happening. Stick with it. I promise you will shred it up very well.
Freaking out to the beat, you freak out, sing like.
First of all, why am I breathing so heavy? So just go ahead and throw all of your shredded chicken right back in with your mixture. Let it all get soaked up and thicken a little bit. I'm just warming up a tortilla in a frying pan. Belle likes to have soft ones. I like crunchy ones, so I threw mine in the air fryer, getting it all ready. Here's all the accoutrements, things we like to eat on there. My favorite hot sauces, some sour cream, some cheese, and we got a ton of hot sauce from Taco Bell the last time we went there, so obviously we're gonna go for that one first, but we're gonna go ahead and assemble our tacos.
One step forward and another back, I would never try to fool ya. I'm one heartbeat away from going mad. Girl, when you're looking like that, closer, closer.
And this kept us fed for 3 or 4 days. We were eating this with nachos. I had tacos a few days in a row, but it was fantastic and I highly recommend it.
How many times do I wanna yell? 'Cause we could be so complete. Baby, I'll never want anyone new. I was on the bed when you.
I've made lasagna maybe a dozen, 2 dozen times. Something about this lasagna was literally the best and simplest one I've ever made. I'm gonna start off by cooking up my ground beef and draining out all of this fat. I'm very annoyed because this was like the lean ground beef from Costco and she ain't cheap. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get rid of all the grease from the ground beef, and this is super simple, you guys. I'm not looking to reinvent the wheel. I'm using my favorite pasta sauce, the Classico sweet basil marinara, and that's it. This is gonna be my base for the lasagna. Now, in hindsight, I did need more sauce and I ended up using another full jar, but that's besides the point. Right now, I'm going to start off and make the cheese mixture that I'm going to put in there. Now, if you want to save money, you could use cottage cheese here, but I just prefer ricotta. We're not really big fans of the texture of cottage cheese, or you could always do half and half. That's not so bad. I'm going to add everything together, mix it up with the Parmesan cheese, mozzarella cheese, my seasonings, the egg, and get it all combined so that it's a nice gooey cheesy mixture. And we're just going to go ahead and dollop that throughout our lasagna.
Smelling like that, I can never resist it. Smelling like that, I can never resist it.
All right, I'm using the express noodles. You could use the ones that you have to boil. The only trick to these ones here is to make sure that they're completely covered by sauce. Otherwise, they're not going to cook and you'll have little uncooked crispy edges of your lasagna. So I'm going to start off by layering the bottom of the dish with a little bit of sauce, and then I'm going to put down my noodles. You're going to drop off all of your sauce, making sure everything is covered. Then you're going to do dollops of the cheese mixture. You're going to top it with some Parmesan, some mozzarella, and then you're going to repeat until you get to the top. Then you're just going to do the sauce, top with your Parmesan and mozzarella, and then we're going to bake it off.
Baby, when I pulled you in and felt your breath, then I knew the girl I need you. Smelling like that, I could never resist it.
And this cheese mixture is pretty thick, so all I'm going to do, and you're going to see here, is I'm going to take a fork and just kind of spread it and mix it gently with the sauce, just to make sure that every slice gets a little bit of that mixture.
I don't think that I'm being that selfish right now. You said yourself you'd be breaking every vow. I can understand you're tired of this town, and I'm not saying that we have to settle down now. Just remember this.
This is about the moment when I realized I was going to need more sauce. So fear not, all I did was take the jar, mix it up with some of the meat sauce so that it had a good balance, and then I was covered and good to go to make sure that I had enough for the entire lasagna.
You must do what your dreams are telling you to do, and I'll be out there looking for someone like you. Stardust, stardust.
All right, so I found parchment paper works best when baking it in the oven if you don't want the cheese to stick. We're going to pop it in the oven for 45 minutes at 350, take that off, and then another 15 minutes, and just to get it nice and crispy and melty. And don't be afraid to throw the broiler on for 3 or 4 minutes to get it really, really brown and delicious. I had some leftover hot dog buns, so we're going to make some garlic bread in the air fryer.
And remember this. We could have been stardust, same world but without us. Something made us find each other out there, made us realize we're more than just stardust.
I wish you guys could smell this, could taste this, could experience this, and I'm telling you, I ate it for days. All you had to do was watch my videos and see where I ate it every day in my What I Eat in a Day.
For someone like you.
And that is it, you guys. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel again to catch another What's for Dinner. If you enjoy these types of videos, please take a second to subscribe and click the notification bell so you know every time I post. I love you guys so stinking much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.
We could have been stardust, same world but without us. Something made